Hello, everyone, my friends. Um, I was going to do a video today continuing on the four temperaments from the video I did 2 weeks ago, but I did up all of the work for that. I did up all of the pre-work, and then I realized that it was going to take quite a bit more pre-work. Just that I needed to be able to put all of my thoughts into different terms so that it was easier to understand. And so I decided that maybe today would be a good day. This would be a good week to read you one of my short stories. I wrote this short story months and months ago, quite a while ago, and I just did a little bit of editing on it to kind of make it better than it was before. Put everything in better terms. And so I hope you enjoyed this short story. It's not going to be a very long video, which I think is okay. It's just going to be the short story, and then that's it. So please, if you like this story, like the video, maybe share it around. That would be great. And just as a note, I am writing a novel right now. So if you know of anyone who works in the publishing industry or anything like that, and you somehow happen upon this video, maybe you could put me in connection with someone like that. That would be great. Uh, yeah, so that's a shameless self promotion there, but whatever. That's what you have to do sometimes in life is shamelessly promote yourself, and yeah. So, with no further ado, this is my short story. I don't have a name for it yet. I have it tentatively entitled Little Girl, which I know isn't going to be the title, by the way, because, I just needed something to differentiate it from the other documents in my Scrivener file. Without any. I said that already. Truly now, without any further ado, this is the story. When I was a little girl, I was in love with my father. The same way all little kids are in love with their fathers. I say in love because love is blind. In my eyes, there was nothing my father could not do. He could lift up the whole house if necessary, a superhero. I remember my father singing to me at the breakfast table, his deep, raspy voice entrancing me. I always thought he was the most amazing, much the same way lovers would see each other. I know that some may feel uneasy about me comparing the way I felt about my father to the way lovers feel about each other. It's an uncomfortable metaphor, and maybe that's the point. It's uncomfortable. Understand that if I could think of a better metaphor, I would use it. In considering other metaphors, I found none stronger than that of being in love. And even this does not seem strong enough. The metaphor of being in love. All the overwhelming feelings, connection in its purest form. A little girl loving for the first time in her life, believing in a man she thought would change her. Daddy is strong. Daddy is smart. Daddy is perfect. There is so much about her father she admires and treasures. Yet the thing she treasures most is that he admires her too. Imagine that. You find yourself a terribly silly child, knowing nothing. You just stopped peeing your pants and you can't promise that you won't pee them again. And the best person you know or your little mind could ever dream of knowing, that guy, he adores you. It's all too much for a little girl. Bit by bit, you come to believe that you must, in fact, be something special. Even though you know that the things coming out of your mouth are stupid, when you speak, your father hangs on your every word. To your father, the terrible drawings you craft while he is at work are beautiful pieces of art. Your father's love gives you a sense of yourself. Perhaps at times an inflated sense of yourself. Maybe that's the problem. Your father can inflate you in his mind, like a lover who idealizes his partner. I told you that the metaphor of two lovers really is not strong enough. As a lover, you have a built up line of defenses in case of heartbreak. As a child, you don't have any of that. You're free to attach yourself to other people with complete abandon. They call it falling for someone because the other person is supposed to catch you. I believed I could jump off the tallest building in the world, and my father would catch me, bearing me up in his hands, lest I bash my foot against a rock. But I was wrong. It felt like my entire childhood I had been falling, believing that my father was going to catch me. When he finally walked out on my mother and me, right at that moment, I hit the ground. Dad was not coming back, and I was splattered all over the pavement. He should have caught me. Why did Daddy walk out? That mysterious man with his dark eyes, and bam! I hit the pavement again, falling for my dad over and over. I could not stop. Each time I thought of him, I was ripped apart. I say that it was like I was in love with my father because he destroyed my heart when he left. My mom would hold me and tell me I wasn't the reason he left, that it wasn't my fault. But it didn't matter. I knew that I wasn't enough reason for him to stay. I wanted so desperately to be enough. Sometimes I would lie awake at night, reliving in my head all those wonderful moments we had together. I would search through them for what I could have done differently. Maybe if I hadn't said such a stupid thing here, or if I had acted more kindly there, maybe then I would have been enough reason for him to stay. Maybe if I had lived up to the idealized version of myself in his head, he would not have left. To me, it would have been better if he had died. At least then I could remember him as a hero, something to model myself on. At least then I wouldn't be reliving hell over and over, because I would know that there was nothing I could have done to save Daddy. How could I ever stop something powerful enough to kill him? Instead of this, I was cursed to know that the best person I had ever known did not want me. I began to hate him, even though I secretly knew that I would have done anything to see him again. I wanted for him to tell me that he really did love me, that he had to leave, and that every moment he was away from me, he was in hell. I say that it was like I was in love with my father because when he left, each moment away from him was agony. The only end I saw to that agony was to hate him. I wanted to hate him. I needed to hate him. I needed to kill the idealized version of him I had built in my head, just as he had killed the idealized version of me. This was made clear to me after one evening where I had a crying spell that was much harsher than the usual tears I would have shed over my father. I had been thinking of my father, obsessing over my father, when it occurred to me that maybe my dad had started another family. This brought back all those wonderful memories I had tried to deny. I pictured my dad loving another daughter in the way he used to love me. Seeing him in my head, being the same great guy I once knew, it made everything I knew about him before true. In this, he was a hero. He was amazing. He was loving. He was all those good things, but to someone else, and not to me, because he had chosen to give his affections to someone else, and not to me. I cannot think of a greater betrayal than a betrayal that is followed by complete loyalty to someone else. All of these thoughts were too much for me. I got up out of my bed. I went to the bathroom. I grabbed a towel. I wrapped it around my neck. I looked at myself in the mirror, and I pulled on each end of the towel, choking myself. My face turning red, my knees getting weak, my vision turning black. This was the best I had felt in a long time. My vision fading, I collapsed on the floor, released from the pain. My body sprawled out. I slept like I was unaware of the world, like a baby who had the love of her father. Now, as an adult, I try to tell myself that everything is okay. I've been in therapy, I've been on medication, I've been in romantic relationships. I have done whatever I could just to believe that everything is okay. Sometimes I'll even go into the bathroom and look in the mirror and speak to myself, saying, "You are enough." But on the other side of that mirror is a little girl with the towel wrapped around her neck, her face turning purple and her vision fading to black. She pulls the towel tighter and tighter around her throat as she screams back at me, "If I am not enough for Dad, then I am not enough for anyone." And that's the end. So I hope you enjoyed that story. Like I said, if you liked it, please like it, share it, make a comment, tell me what you think. Yeah, I noticed I had a little bit of a mistake there once I was reading it out, but like not a mistake in words. I read one of these lines. Yeah, there's a few lines in there after reading this out to everyone that it was obvious to me that I need to still make a few more changes, but that's kind of typical with any sort of written work, unless you're G.K. Chesterton, in which case you just put out your first draft, and that probably suffices. But if you're one of us normal people, you have to edit your work quite a bit. So anyway, I hope you tune in next week to see what's up then. Hopefully I'll have my the second part of the Four Temperaments video finished by then. Thanks, bye.